Hello and welcome back to the Beautiful Things channel. Today I'm doing a video for you that has been really requested loads on my Instagram and my Facebook. As you may or may not know, I made a pattern for my own packing cubes, which I released as part of our online sewing club, and I've subsequently used them various times. I've gone on my holidays and people have always been asking me how I pack and what I pack, so I thought I would do a come pack with me video. I know I like to watch these and I like to see the different ways that people pack, whether they're travelling as a family with all the kids or whether they're just going somewhere on their own, and how it differs and how they pack all of the bits and pieces into their luggage. So that's what I'm doing for you. So this particular trip is a 4 nights and 4 day trip. We are going to the south of France, myself and my friend Elspeth. So it is purely a beach and swimming pool holiday. There is going to be no major sightseeing or travelling around. We intend to lounge all day long. We may have a little wander around the shops possibly, but in the evenings we'll be going out for a stroll down to the port and finding somewhere yummy to sit, people watch and eat delicious food. I'm only taking what I need. I am taking a larger case than I probably need, but it just means I can just put everything in easily and not have to squeeze it in. It also means that should I go shopping or come across a fabric store while I'm away, there is room in my luggage to bring it home. So the first thing I do when I'm getting ready to pack for my holidays is to get all of my travel essentials out of storage. I have a space in my wardrobe up high where I keep 3 boxes. One of those boxes contains all of my evening bags, handbags, makeup bags and toiletry bags. It also contains my packing cubes and all sorts of different bags and pouches that I use when I travel and pack. Then I have a box where I keep all of my sun creams and my after sun, and then I have a second box that contains all of my travel minis and things that I only ever use on my holidays. So let me talk you through the kind of thing that I keep in that box.
First up is facial cleansing wipes. I keep these from travel bags that I get on flights. Bit of hand sanitizer and Calpol sachets. Don't forget the spoon. Nail glue, absolute essential, and Vaseline. These little pots are 3 for 99p. Blister plasters, essential. And if you're travelling long haul, melatonin really helps you sleep. I wouldn't go anywhere without travel wash. And my most essential, a bottle opener.
The next thing I do is I sit down and I work out exactly how many outfits I'm going to need. So I work out how many daytime outfits and how many nighttime outfits I'm going to need, and I then work out what I'm going to be wearing to fly in, both there and coming home. Then I go through my clothes and I pick the things that I want to wear on each day. Now that can differ when I'm actually away, but let's say this trip I've got 4 day outfits and only 3 evening outfits. Although we're there for 4 nights, we don't get there until 7 o'clock in the evening. So by the time we've got from the airport to our hotel, we're just going to be wanting to either go to bed or just go down to the bar and have a drink, in which case I can go down in whatever outfit I've been traveling in. So I need 4 daytime outfits and 3 nighttime outfits. So I will pick the clothes that I'm taking with me, and then when I actually get there, I'll decide what I wear on what day. So once I've decided and written down what I'm going to take, I get all the clothes out onto my bed and I start to put them in piles. As I put stuff out on the bed, I cross it out on my list till I get to the point that I have a pile of clothes. So this is both daytime and evening outfits. I have a pile of swimwear. I have a pile of sleeping things, a pile of underwear, beach stuff, so towels, flip-flops, and I love these clips. I bought these from Poundland and they're great for clipping your towel to your sun lounger, and these ones are really nice and sturdy and strong. I did have some I bought in Mallorca that were like giant pegs, but they fell apart really quickly, so I'm hoping these 2 will last or go the distance. Even if they only last 4 days, I don't care, they were £1. I have a pile of shoes. I'm being really good this time. I'm just taking my trusty saltwater sandals for the daytime. Then I've got my Michael Kors sandals, which are nice for the daytime but also the evening. And these I've had for years. I think I bought these from Asda's. I only ever wear them on holiday. Little gold sandals. And then I'm flying in my lovely Michael Kors heels, which I love, and I can wear these all day. I can dance all night in them, so I'm going to fly in them because they take up less room in the case. I then have a pile of spare clothes, and I always like to take a few spare bits with me. I normally take a spare black vest, a little lightweight black cardigan because that goes with everything. I don't think I'm going to need it, but you never know. Spare pair of daytime or evening trousers, and then just a spare jersey black dress, which can be daytime or nighttime. They're just classic pieces that I like to keep in my case. They take up no extra room, and just if I have a sudden change of plan or a feeling frumpy day. Once it's in this stage, that's when it then starts to go into the packing cubes. Then I pack my hand luggage clothes. Now, I have been unfortunate enough to lose my luggage on a couple of occasions when travelling. My mum more so has lost her luggage on 3 or 4 different occasions, and I know how stressful it can be. So I always make sure that I pack into my hand luggage something to sleep in, some clean underwear, an outfit that's suitable for the following day, either for daytime or nighttime, and of course some swimwear if I'm going to be going to the beach or the pool. I also make sure that I've got my essential toiletries, some flat sandals if I've been travelling in heels, and some adapters and various bits and pieces in my hand luggage so that I know that I can just carry on with my holiday and either wait for that luggage to arrive or have a nice little shop in the afternoon on my first day if I need to buy some more essentials. So this is how I pack into my hand luggage. I take a packing cube and I pack it in exactly the same way that I would pack my luggage. Let me show you. So I pack my travel cubes Marie Kondo style. I just take each item and roll it up. First of all, into a little bundle. It doesn't have to be tidy or neat. Best you can. That one won't go, but it will go in, okay? This little sundress is great if you did lose your luggage. It wouldn't matter whether you were having a sunbathing day around the pool. You could chuck it on over your bikini, or you could head out into town and do some shopping. So once everything's rolled up, just goes into the cubes. Always looks like it's never going to fit, but it does.
Shoes, shower caps. Pop your shoes in the shower cap, into the packing cube, and bang, away you go.
When it comes to swimwear, I take loads. I'm going to be having probably 3 full days around the pool or on the beach. We might get a little swim in on the morning before we go home, and who knows, we might even have a late night dip when we get there. So I like to have plenty of swimwear. If I'm spending the day on the beach, then I always like to put a spare bikini into my beach bag for the day. That means if I get really soaking wet and I decide to then dry off and have some lunch, then I can put a dry bikini on, go and have lunch with like a caftan or a t-shirt over the top of it, and then I know that I've got it nice and dry, ready to continue sunbathing and swimming in the afternoon. So the more bikinis and cozies, the better. I pack enough to fill 1 travel cube. For this particular trip, I've got 2 bikinis. I've got 4 bikinis in total for this trip, although one of those bikinis does share a top with 2 separate bottoms, and I've also got my swimsuit. I don't know if I will actually use my swimsuit because I think it's going to be too hot, but if I do decide to use the indoor facilities in our hotel, then I will probably use my swimsuit for that. So now I'm going to talk you through the rest of the process and what I keep in my hand luggage, and what I take in what bags and why. So the clothes are all packed and they're in their packing cubes ready to go. Now I'm going to show you some of the other things I like to put in my luggage. So obviously I've got my shoes here, they're going to go in. I always take Ziploc bags with me. They're always really handy for numerous things. Already talked to you about my towel clips. You cannot go wrong with a trusty pack of wet wipes. You never know when you're going to need them. Now this one's an interesting one. So I always take a couple of bottles of water with me. If I'm going to the States, I take even more than 2. I normally take 4 if it's myself and Mr. Mac, or half a dozen if I'm taking the kids too. So the reason that I like to take the water with me, especially if you're arriving really late at night, and in the States even more so, is because water can be really hard to come by and also really expensive. As an example, we went to Vegas earlier on this year and water was about $10 a bottle. We had to walk a long way from the check-in in our hotel through to our actual room before we got in our room, and then we discovered that we didn't actually have a fridge in our room and there was no water, and I was just absolutely parched. So it's really nice to just have a bottle that you know is perfectly okay to drink, especially if you're traveling to countries where the water's not safe to drink, and I just like to keep a couple in my case. So I'm just taking 2 with me this time. We're only going to France at the end of the day. Water should be readily available. That being said, when I went to Barcelona last year with my lovely friend Tade, we weren't allowed to take tap water from the bar up to our room because they didn't want any glasses leaving the bar area, and there was nowhere that we could buy tap water. So that was a classic example of being absolutely gasping at about 10:30 at night. And I didn't take any water with me, so I learnt my lesson. So they will go into my case. I've also got some little treats for me and Elspeth. I saw these in Asda's today. The Edinburgh Gin, rhubarb gin liquor and ginger beer, and they sound really nice. They're just small, so they'll come out of their plastic and just go into the case. The beach towels, I always like to take a spare just shopper bag with me. You never know when you might need that. And take a beach bag for the beach. This is actually to lend Elspeth because I'm going to use my hand luggage bag as my beach bag. My trusty sun hat, this was just from Primark. I think it's about £6, haven't used it yet. I'll show you how I pack that a bit later. And I always take a few spare hangers. You never know what hotel hangers are going to be like. These ones are really good because you can get a few things on them. They've also got these trouser hooks. I'm also going to pack some of my toiletries into this hanging travel organiser. And this is one of my makes. You put all your bits and pieces in it, roll it up into your suitcase, but when you get to the hotel you can tie it onto a hanger. So I like to know that I have the type of hanger it ties onto so that I can use it. I'm also taking my magnifying mirror. I would not be without this in a hotel. It's absolutely brilliant. And I normally pack that with the stand that it comes with. And I have a laptop sleeve that I keep specifically to pack this into in my suitcase. I'm also taking my hair straighteners with me. I'm not taking my GHDs in case they get lost. These are just a cheaper, wider pair that I take on holiday with me. I've also got these net bags. I did also make these, but you can buy these simple like travel pouches or laundry pouches from the pound shop. I like to use these to keep my charger for my toothbrush and my hair straighteners all contained in one bag. So I use an electric toothbrush, and although I charge it before I go, I always like to take the charger with me. But this has a standard shaver socket on. Now there's no guarantee that the shaver socket is going to go into the wall in your hotel. So I've got a shaver to UK adapter, which I can then plug into my extension cable that I take with me. So if I do need to charge my toothbrush, this has always seen me right. So let me talk you through what's in my hanging organiser. So we've got our cotton pads and cotton wool buds and our tea in the top. In this section I like to take a large laundry bag with me. You can buy these from the pound shop just to put all my dirties in at the end of the holiday, and I can just chuck that straight in the washing machine. I've got some clippers, a spare shoe cover or shower cap. I sometimes use this actually as a shower cap. My barkeeper's friends, my drinks and my spare Ziploc bags.
And in the bottom section, I've got my moisturisers, any creams. I love this Lanacane. I've talked about this before. It's absolutely brilliant for putting on your thighs when you're hot, so you don't get sore legs if you're wearing a dress. I also take some lens wipes for my glasses, and of course blister plasters and a hairspray. So all of that will live in this hanging organiser. As for my main toiletries, I like to use these clear bags. I think this was a set of 3 from Asda's, but I like them because they completely seal up. So if I do get any leaking, then it's not going to ruin the things that are in my case. So anything that leaks will go into these. So I have my sun cream and my after sun and my bronzer in one. The other one, I've got my micellar water and my mouthwash. I've got some shower cream, heat protector spray, Avon Skin So Soft. This is fantastic for keeping the bugs away of an evening, and also Avon conditioning spray and detangler, which I absolutely love for getting the knots out of my hair, especially after I've been swimming. Then I've got a couple of other ones in this container. This is my chamomile face cleanser and my Body Shop peach body butter. So they will all go into these clear bags and go into the case so that they don't leak all over my clothes. I've also got another pouch. You can't really see what's in here, but this is clear and flat. This has got all of my hair scrunchies, my hair accessories, and hair bobbles in, and that will keep those contained. And I can just put them straight into the bathroom. So I like to use this LMS Pro Collagen Marine Cream. It comes in a massive tub, so I don't like to take it with me. So instead, when I buy the little gift sets at Christmas, quite often you get little minis, and they're good sizes and they'll last you for a few days. Also, it's the same cream that British Airways puts in its little business class packs, and as Mr. Mac travels quite a lot, he tends to bring these home for me, so I stack up on them. I also use micellar water. I don't actually use the LMS one anymore. I used to, but this has just been filled up with some Simple because I actually like the pump dispenser. But I am a big fan of these little travel bottles when you're only going to be going for a few days, so I'm a decanter. I've actually got a little bottle of micellar water. It's small enough to go in your hand luggage, it's 100 mils, that I bought from Boots when I was travelling a little while back. And I just use this and top it up with my big bottle from home. This is quite good because it's got a nozzle on it, so you can just aim and fire. And there's enough in there to take my makeup off and cleanse my face for a few days. These bottles though come from one of those little travel sets. I think I bought this in Asda a little while ago. I use a specialist mouthwash, and so I don't want to take this big bottle with me, so I'm going to decant some of that into here. So let me show you how I pack all of this into the case. So I'm taking a much bigger case than I actually need, as I mentioned earlier in my video. But as you can see, I've got all my packing cubes into one side, and I've got my roll travel organiser and then my straighteners on top. In this little flap, you can put anything that's flat, so I've put my hangers and my scrunchy zipper pouch. And then I've started to put some of my loose items in this other side. Now, top tip is always put your heavy stuff at the bottom where the wheels are, because that way it's going to be the most supported and it's not going to get shaken up too much, and all of the weight will be at the bottom of your case, so it won't tip over or be top heavy when it's standing up. So I've got loads of space here that I'm just going to put my shoes in, but if I was tight for space and I wasn't taking such a big case, then I would be putting shoes in along here. So you can get your flip-flops and you can just slide them in down the sides of the cases. If you've got trainers or shoes like that, then they're really handy. You can put them in, and you can put things like socks or smaller packets of wet wipes inside the trainers, so that takes up space as well. Because I've got the space, I've actually put my sandals into another one of my zip bags, again just to keep everything segmented together. It's really easy then when you unpack at the other end. So I mentioned earlier how I pack my hat. Now the trick is to work out how deep your hat is and pack around it. Pack all the heavy stuff around it so that the hat itself sits in a hole in the middle.
and it will then lay flat, and you can still continue to put things underneath the brim until the brim lays flat, and then you can fill the middle with underwear, swimwear, you could put a rolled up towel in the middle, anything that's going to keep its shape. So I've rolled up one of my beach towels and I've put that into the middle, and then I'm going to continue to pack and fill these gaps around underneath the brim so that the brim then sits on the top of my case. So the only thing that's left to go in here now is my makeup bag, which I can't pack yet because I want to put my makeup on in the morning. But once I have packed it, then I will take this beach towel and I will lay it across the top to protect everything before I shut down this zipping flap. So the last thing that I sort out is my makeup, and I normally sort it out into kind of my quick and easy everyday face, which I leave out because I'm going to want to put that on in the morning before I go to the airport. My brushes live in this little pot on my desk, and I've shown you this before. It's really clever. You can basically put all of them into one end, pick up the lid, clip it together. I'll show you. Put all of them in, squeeze the brushes together, put the top on, put all of them in, squeeze the brushes together, put the top on, clip up the poppers on either side, and then you can just pack the container into your case. So I've put out the makeup that I'm taking with me. This is my evening makeup. Now there's lots of different choices here. There's 3 or 4 different lipsticks, 3 or 4 different eyeshadows, a fancy palette and my foundation. So that's all going to go into my makeup bag, which is this one here, and I'm going to leave it on the side. So as I put my makeup on in the morning, I can put each piece into this bag, and when I finish putting my makeup on, I can zip it up and put it in my case, pop up my brushes and put them in too. The other last 2 things that need to go in is my deodorant and my hairbrush, which again obviously I'll be using in the morning. A couple of other things I always put in my case is my Chili's water bottle. I always pack that empty. And I like to take a UK extension cable because that means that you only need 1 adapter. So you can put this into the wall in your hotel and you've then got 4 UK sockets. I also take a USB plug with me as well, which has 4 USB ports on it, but I keep that in my hand luggage. Now we're on to our hand luggage. Now I can only pack some of this. There's things that still need to go in on the morning. So I'm taking a small wheelie case. In here I've got the overnight bits that I talked about earlier. I've got my knitting and a book. I've got my pencil case and I've got my headphones. They're actually on charge at the moment, so the case is in there. And I've got a couple of adapters. So like I say, I take these in my hand luggage, but I have a big extension cable in my main luggage, but I keep these in the hand luggage just in case I should lose my main luggage. I'm going to be putting in here in the morning my camera charger, my tripod, my laptop charger, and my hard drive, and they all go in there in the morning because I'm going to be using them this evening. So they'll probably go in actually before I go to bed, but that's why there's a big empty space in there, and all those things need to go in my hand luggage because they can't go in the hold. Now, because we're flying British Airways, I'm also able to take a handbag, and I'm actually taking this big bag, which will become my beach bag when we're on holiday. And inside that, I obviously have my passport. I have some spare pens, which always come in handy. This little side pocket here has got packets of tissues. It's got some of the little drink sachets in there in a little Ziploc bag, a lip balm, and I also always travel with some Quells. These just live in this bag. They're for the kids just in case they need it, and I know they're not going with me, but they just live in this bag all the time. This gold zip bag will be filled up with my phone charger, my hard drive, and any USB cables and headphone cables, etc. I like to keep those all together and accessible in my bag. I've got my small lightweight cardigan that just lives at the bottom of the bag, and then this is my little bag of on the plane travel essentials, but also things that I've got overnight should my main luggage get lost. So I'll show you what I have in here.
So this is a great little bag. I got it from Asda's and it just opens up. So I've got my eye drops for my hay fever, some lens cleaning wipes for my glasses, my cellar water to take my makeup off, again if we should lose our luggage, and just a few little cotton pads. I've got my travel wash. I never go on holiday without travel wash, and this is great because it's only 75 mils, but again if we should lose our luggage it means that I can wash my pants through. I've got some Soothe. I swear by this stuff. You can only buy it in Australia, I think. It's really, really good bite creams if you do get stung by mozzies. So I like to have this with me at all times. Nail glue, essential. Lip balm. Some Advil ibuprofen. Because these are liquid gels, they actually class as liquid. So you do need to make sure that they're in a clear bag in your hand luggage. I also just put some hay fever tablets and my pills in there, and a little moisturiser and my perfume. Now these are great if you haven't seen these before. You can buy them from Chanel. They come with this little adapter that you can twist up, and you've got your little spray, but it comes with 2 refills in the pack, so it's a really good way of having your favourite fragrance in a canister that you're actually likely to use and put in your handbag or take on holiday. These little bags are perfect. You can just chuck it into your main handbag and then pop it out on the conveyor belt when you go through security, so it can all be checked. So the only thing I don't put in here is a toothbrush and toothpaste, because if we do lose our baggage, then that's something that you can get from the hotel. So I don't ever bother packing a spare toothbrush and toothpaste in my hand luggage. Quite often we're flying long haul and you will actually get that in your little toiletry set on the plane. Now the reason that I put my electronic items such as my iPad and my little toiletries in this handbag rather than in here is it means when we go through security I can just whip them out and put them on the carousel, and then when I'm finished with them they then do go into this case. This will then go underneath my seat, and I've got my headphones and my book and the things I'm likely to want on the plane ready and able to use. So I hope you enjoyed that little insight. It is now Sunday evening. I fly in the morning. I am going to go and take all of the footage off this camera, pop it all on my hard drive, and then I can pack the camera, pack the tripod, pack the hard drive, and I will probably edit this together from my sun lounger, and if not it will wait a week until I come home. So I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm going to do another similar video when I go away in the summer with the kids, because that one's slightly different and involves kids clothes, activities, things to do, hand luggage for the kids, inflatables and foot pumps and all sorts of other interesting things. These kind of trips are nice and easy because I only have to think about myself. So thank you very much for watching. Please leave me comments down below. I love to chat in the comments. I try and respond to all of my comments, so if you've got any questions or any top tips that you think I might like, do mention them down below. Give the video a big thumbs up if you liked it. Remember to subscribe to the channel, and I will see you again soon. Bye!